Tell you, today I am in top spirits. Like, I'm very excited. Very, very excited. One of the worries that any parent has is my children. Every parent wants the best, wish the best for their children. In fact, in the process of all that, when you're not too sure, when you have some down moments, when you're not too certain, you just like, some children are just crazy. They are just going to be whatever they want to be. No, today I'm here to just, you know, charge you up a little bit to make you feel excited for your parenting journey and to wish you all the best and encourage you that you should keep at the good work that you're doing. To be honest, being a parent is not the easiest thing. To be responsible for other lives or another life is not as easy when you're still responsible for yourself and your life. That is such a big calling. But for an entire life to be put in your hands, that means that is great responsibility. And I want to remind you that the greatest beneficiaries of child upbringing and child rearing is you, the parent. Recently, it came to me like an epiphany one more time. I put my children together and I was teaching them about kindness. I was teaching them about love. And I was telling them the need for them to love themselves as siblings, for them to love their family, for them to love the circle. And after having that teaching, it hit me that the greatest beneficiary of this teaching, if you keep at it, would be you, the parent. And then I saw myself in a position of my old age when I'm helpless. When we all think we have energy until you see, as the days go by, as the years go by, you're getting older, you're getting wearier, you need help, you need assistance, you won't be able to do the things you used to do when you were much younger. There are so many illustrations. When you teach your children kindness, sometimes we parent with this mentality that all you're to do for your children is to provide for them, to provide for them. You provide for them. No, some of the key things you're supposed to do for your children is to train them, to teach them, to mold them. Okay, it's not just I want food, you give food. I want a new cloth, you give a new cloth. School. No, 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 no. You should teach your children values. The values and the decency your children will manifest are a product of the things that you've taught them over time. If you want your son to be a gentleman, teach him how to be a gentleman over the years. And that is what he will manifest. If you want your son to be a president, begin to teach him how to conduct himself as one. If you want your children to be leaders, teach them and train them how to be leaders. If you want your children to play musical instruments, teach them how to play musical instruments. Look, in a house, even if you just got a keyboard and kept in a house, without, if the child kept on, even these days, we even have YouTube, we have videos, it will surprise you what will happen over the years. The same thing with the devices you give your children. I'm sure you necessarily don't even teach them too much, but they're able to fiddle with it and make sense out of these devices. It's the same thing with the values. When you teach your children kindness, you would be one of the greatest beneficiary of the kindness that your children will met out. Okay? I want to ask you a question. Did your parents teach you kindness? And how kind are you to your parents? No, I need you to answer that question. It's a rhetoric. Some of you forget the hands that fed you. Some of you forget the people who raised you. But there are people who do not joke, are very intentional about reaching out to their parents. These things are essential. Sometimes you hear people saying things like, when I got married, my wife doesn't allow me um, interact with my mother as much. That is why we must be concerned about the backgrounds of the people that our children get married to. You understand? You're not going to raise your children anyhow. This one raises their children properly, and then people come together. And no, it's supposed to be a circle of people coming together, with the strong values that they have learned to keep society in the positive, to keep society going. It's all hands on deck. Teach your children kindness, teach your children love, teach your children regard, teach your children respect. Children don't only have to learn A for apple and B for ball. C is for computer. No. Those things, in fact, when I was in school, they taught me how to draw cockroach. I have never been asked in this life now to draw a cockroach. So schooling and training and teaching goes beyond the confines of a classroom. Sit down. You go to school, you want to become a medical doctor, you go to school for 7 years, you go for 6 years, you want to become a lawyer, you have years. So you to sit down, get a book, get a pen, get the paper, and holistic development for your child. Character, skill, um, academics, spirituality. Draw these things down, culture, draw these things down and say, how much am I investing in each of these circles of their life? Sports, how much am I investing? It's going to take your time, but at the end, you'll be the greatest beneficiary. Don't leave anything easy. No, I've never sat down here to say it's easy to raise children. It's not the easiest thing, but it's beautiful. It is beautiful. It is fulfilling. No matter how, aim for the highest peak. Even if you are to drop, you're not going to drop in a terrible manner. I'm wishing you all the best. And I'm praying that your children will be kind to you in your old age. I'm praying that your children will not disregard you. Your children will not leave you alone when you need them the most. Your children will carry you the way you carry them as babies and will nurture you when your strength fails you. I'm not praying for you to be that sick, but yes, at some point in your life, you will need your children. May they be there for you. Au revoir.